Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to show you what the first 6 months of a 100K a year client looks like and what I would do to get them the best results possible. So since iOS 14, so much has changed, and now more than ever, I think that, taking a holistic approach to marketing is the easiest way and the fastest way to kind of get those really nice and juicy, retainer plus commission. You can really get truly amazing results for your clients, as well as getting as much money as possible. Regardless of the niche that you're into, the word partner is really something that you should try and aim for. I think the concept of growth partner is really amazing. It directly puts you on an equal level as your client, instead of kind of them thinking that you're just that person that they've just contracted to get them results and it's clearly that they're above you. Now the concept of you potentially being a growth partner really makes a massive difference. So that's what I want to show you today, how you can become a growth partner for your client and really start getting this crazy juicy retainer of like 5, 10, and even 40K a month. So in this video, we're going to break down all of the different things you need to do in the first 6 months with like really nice big clients. This is mainly aimed at, info products, e-commerce and SaaS businesses, but it can absolutely apply to other niches like lead gen and other type of services. So as I said, today more than ever, it makes a lot of sense to have a multifaceted approach to kind of the service that you offer, where you have a mix of done for you and done with you services. You want to make them feel like by hiring you, not only are they getting those crazy results, but also they're elevating the entire business from a knowledge standpoint, which is really super valuable because, as you know, people pay thousands and thousands just in courses and stuff. So if you can combine the two, that concept of like done for you and done with you, where essentially you run workshops, especially the first 6 months where you really want them to solidify that connection with the client, I think that that's the ultimate way of doing it. And anyway, all of you guys do like monthly call with your clients just to keep them updated. I think it's good to kind of reframe those monthly calls into workshops. So right away in the client's mind, it feels like it's got way more value than just a random call. So for sure, the combination of the two is really how you can elevate your service and right away have something that's really solid. So it all starts with the first sales call, where in there, you really want to show them that you've got a very differentiated approach to marketing. And also you want to tell them exactly what they can expect from working with you, right? You want to show them how you're going to transform their business, because we all know clients don't buy services, they buy solution. And so for you, the solution is to transform the business in terms of making a business that's more profitable, makes more money, grows faster, all of that. So this is truly where you've got to show them in that initial call what you're going to do over the next 6 months to truly transform their business. So during that first call, I will really focus on 2 things. One is to really, really listen to what they say and make them feel heard. That's literally probably like 101 like sales tip, is to truly make people feel heard. Most of the time, clients come to you, either they worked with another agency, didn't work out, or they've tried a bunch of stuff themselves, didn't work out, etc. So they really want to feel like you understand the pain point that they're going through, what stage of the business they are in, etc. And they really want to feel like, oh, finally I found someone that truly understands what I'm going through and can really provide me with the solution that I need to get to where I want. And so the first bit is to really truly listen. When you first jump on a call, you've got to ask those questions and really listen to what they tell you and make them feel heard. Then you really want to focus on telling them exactly all of the different steps that you're going to offer them to transform their business. So this is where the concept of like workshops and the concept of the mix of done with you and done for you really comes in handy to explain, because instead of all of the services that you normally go and do, for example, like all the research, you're looking at your client's website to see, hey, does it need to be optimized? Do you need to do that? All of this is stuff that you normally do anyway, right? But most people don't actually include it in the offer. So essentially, they do all of this free work, both from a monetary standpoint, but also from a perception standpoint. So this is why you really want to explain all of the different steps and how you have like workshops built into your offer. So it just feels like it's just a much beefier offer. You just do the services for them and end of story. And when you're telling them all of the different steps that you're going to use to transform the business, this is where I really like the concept of the 3 pillars. Explaining like how you're going to look at the business from almost those 3 different pillars and kind of focus on each of those at different stages. So the first one is online optimization. There's almost no point to do any other work if the online presence isn't perfect. Nowadays, there's tools like, link in bio, which were cool. Now there's even newer tools like, like Norby, a Beacon, all of this where the link in bio can be even elevated. You want to look at this. You want to look at the landing pages. Is that good enough? Can that be optimized? You want to look at their email sequences. Have they done the flows that they need to do? Like this is really what you want to look at in in that first pillar, online optimization. The second you start running ads or doing any kind of marketing, at least that traffic will convert at a much higher rate. So first pillar, online optimization. Then the second pillar is content engine. And so content engine is pretty straightforward. It's exactly what it is. We know now the demand for content is immense, in the sense that if you really want to be active on all the different channels, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all of this stuff, and running ads, you need so much content. And most brands don't have this content engine built. So this is where you want to come in and really help them do that, because that's where the value is going to come from. You getting them to create amazing content, you taking that content and repurposing it to go across all the different platforms. This is the second thing you're going to focus on. So then that will give you the ammunition that you'll need for the third phase, which will be growth. And so then you explain to them like, okay, cool. So now we took care of online optimization. We took care of, building yourself like a really nice content engine. And now it's time to look at all the different growth and strategy that we can do together. And so of course, this depends on the business, this depends on the size of the business, all the different, maybe affiliate work, SEO stuff, all of that. So now this is how you just in the call explain those different things and what you're going to do and at what time. And that truly, trust me, if you do this, they'll feel so heard. They'll feel like, wow, and now finally have someone that can truly come in and change everything. And therefore it'll be very logical that not only they pay you a monthly retainer, but also if you do your job really well, it's normal that you want to take part of the upside. And the 6 first months are super important. This is where most agencies fail and lose clients, is because it wasn't very clear what they were doing in the first 6 months. And it took a bit of time. They didn't really get the result that they were hoping. The client didn't really feel they knew what was happening, etc. So this is why it's super important to explain to them like what they can expect over the next 6 months, and kind of almost design in such a way like you can show them exactly month after month what's going to happen. But then also for you, it's going to really help build those processes so you can get those kind of results. So in our first call, absolutely show them that. And then once you actually start working with them, that first 6 months is where you really got to focus on. And that's why I like the concept of those workshops, is because they'll at least stay with you during the first few months while you're running those workshops. And so here's a quick tip. You can come up with something that is highly valuable for your clients, and at the end of the sales call, just show it to them, show how it works, etc. And for me, for example, I created a spreadsheet specifically to help people come up with the best hooks, because hooks are just really important, because it's literally the base for everything. Link in bios to the description on the homepage and product pages, as well as the ad. So I chose that as a really high value thing that they need, and I show them this spreadsheet of like how they can use this to come up with the best hooks and messaging that they can use across all the different touch points. And so what makes it super easy, my next email, instead of just being the invoice or just being the proposal, well, I send that in addition to the invoice, which makes a massive difference, because now I've already provided the value. Now I'm giving them that value for free. And so now it's just super easy for me to ask, and also make sure to take care of the invoice before we book our next workshop. And so this does two things, is not only like the concept of reciprocity, you kind of give them something, they can give something back, but also by saying, hey, just make sure you take care of the invoice before we book our first workshop. It's easy. And for you kind of avoid a really awkward email being like, oh, hey, here's just the invoice by itself or whatever. So this is, I feel like a really nice way to package it. It just simplifies the sales process, because people love giving free stuff, and that's what I do. End of the call, create a really high value freebie that you can kind of email it to them at the same time as emailing the invoice. So as soon as you get the client, this is where all of the admin stuff comes into play on your end, like assigning the right contractor or building the right team around whoever's going to work on your client. And of course, starting to build the different performance dashboard or whatever you're going to start using on a monthly basis. So this, you just want to have like immediately a process that creates all of this pretty much automatically, so you can go really quick and not waste any time. And on the client side, you want them to, of course, again, automated processes to get them to sign the contract, get them to pay the invoice, get them to watch all of the onboarding videos that you've created, where again you explain to them how you're now going to communicate with them, what tool you're going to use, how it's going to all work, get them to answer the questionnaire and stuff. And this, I've got a quick tip for you guys, because for me, instead of just sending the questionnaire that sometimes again can be a little bit boring, use that first workshop to go through it together and actually record the meeting and actually answer the questionnaire while I'm on a call with them. And I feel like this is just so much easier, like quicker, less work on the client side. That's the sort of thing you really want to automate and make sure that you do as soon as the client comes in. As soon as the client pays the invoice, you want to automate that process as much as possible, and you waste no time, and the experience is really second to none. If the experience is good, you get them the results, then this is when the referrals start coming in. And so that's really what you want to focus on. Okay, so now you've done all of this, it kind of takes us to the first workshop. And so on this first workshop, this is where you're going to actually focus on a bunch of different things. So first, of course, go through the questionnaire. Sometimes I feel like people kind of go a bit overboard with the questionnaire. They want to ask too many questions and, ask really, really granular stuff. It's also part of your job as an agency to kind of understand what they need. You need to talk to them. They give you all the top line, and then you've got to go dive deep yourself at understanding. And so often what might happen, and again, this is another tip, is when you work with those bigger clients where you can charge, $10K a month plus, often they tend to have a bit of a bigger team, or at least a few more people. So sometimes, you want to chat with the owner to get started and do the sales. But after that, you can be, hey, tell me who would be the best person for me to talk to about this. And then you go and have the specific call, about the questionnaire and all the stuff with that person. So you don't waste everyone's time. And again, you get the exact information that you need, because that will be super important to make sure you understand all the different stuff. So that first workshop, you kind of go through all of the questionnaire and the question. And, if you ever need more, then you can go and get additional information from that. Then I would go through again the hooks matrix to kind of make sure that you come up with the best hooks, because of course that's if you don't have the messaging right and stuff, then nothing else will follow. And then in our first workshop as well, you want to start showing them, if they don't have the right content, what type of content you at least need to get started. So this is where you're going to show them, what type of ad works well, what type of content looks good, etc., etc. So, ideally for the first few months, you can use all of the content that they've already created. That's kind of the assumption that we have when we choose those brands that we work with, because of course, you don't land a client like this without looking at them online, and most of the time they don't get to kind of that level of revenue where they can afford that kind of services without having some sort of good content online. So normally there's plenty of content for you to start playing for the first few months, but in case they don't, use that first workshop to really explain to them the type of content they need to create, so you can have ammunition for the rest of the few months, both in terms of ads and organic stuff. Workshop number 1, really blow their mind, create some nice presentations, and that will make it look really cool. All right, cool. So now we're up to month 1. The objective of month 1, it should be extremely clear on a week-to-week basis what you're actually going to do for them. So again, that month 1, they now know exactly what's going to happen. It's mainly getting access to the accounts, you running a bit of an audit to truly understand how is the email set up, how is the back end of the website set up. Like, you really want to take that first month to kind of get a good understanding. And so of course, you don't want to just take that first month and just do some research and kind of take a bit of time and stuff, because clients really need to feel like things are moving and that the momentum is picking up. So you want to find, and this depends client from clients, you want to find something that's easy to implement that is going to get you like really quick wins. So for some clients, it might be just implementing a simple retargeting funnel on ads, something that they didn't do, and now you can easily do it. You might have already existing content you can use to repurpose. Boom, you set it up, that works. It could be as simple as implementing SMS marketing for some people, where boom, you directly get some results. But you want to find something that during the first month, in addition to all the audit and stuff, that's going to take time, because we all know things take time, but client needs to feel you're just providing them value instantly. So even though you know that the true transformation is going to take a bit of time, you want to show them that within our first month, you're already getting some stuff. So while you're kind of doing all the research and everything, which is going to help for that long-term transformation, you want to get them with a quick win, and so the client can feel the momentum. So that's what you're going to focus on in month 1. Okay, so now month 2, it's all about focusing on the online optimization. Again, social media, making sure this looks as good as it can be, optimizing the conversion rate, both, typically on the homepage, product pages, catalog pages, all of this is really why you want to start focusing all your efforts on month 2. So in month 1, the workshop was all about the hooks and answering the questionnaire. Now in month 2, you really want to show them how they can improve the conversion rate and stuff. And so as I said, this is where it comes in really handy to be that mix of done for you and done with you, is because of course you can't do everything. But let me give you an example. So for example, if it identified that now you have a much better hooks that you've came up in month 1, but then all the product pages are just talking about the product and not really talking about the solution that the product has and how it transforms people's life, etc. So you've got to change those product pages. And so what you want is in that workshop, you want to show them that they should change it. And so that doesn't mean that you should go inside the Shopify and change everything, but you could let them and their team know that this is what needs to happen. Whereas, for example, all the email flows and all of that, this is something that you and your team can go in and start implementing. Because of course, you don't want to just tell them, hey, here are all the flows you should write. You could, because then the client will be like, oh, what am I paying you for? And then more importantly, everything that truly brings in more trackable results, you want to own. So then this will be included in your performance bonus every month. So that's why, for example, CRO stuff, where again, you know it needs to be done. You kind of show them during that workshop. You show them example of a crappy product page and what a really ultimate product page looks like. Give them recommendations. Again, nice little presentation that you've got during every workshop. Again, this is great. You do it once. You pay someone on Upwork or Fiverr, even if you've got a team member, to make that presentation look next level, and then you can use it over and over and over. Because ideally, your processes are going to be the same, client after client, so you can really optimize it and increase your margins. So yeah, so then month 2, for example, one of the things you want to focus on the most is on all those automated emails, post-purchase sequence. Again, instead of having a classic, 1, 2, 3 emails, you really want to up that a lot by having almost like 6, 7, 8, maybe 10 emails where, then you can tell the client that the objective of your post-purchase sequence is not only just to get more sales, but also to reduce buyer's remorse, reduce customer service load, increase word of mouth, and increase the lifetime value of your customers. So it's not just a little something. The post-purchase emails is really something that needs to be considered. And these are the things that you can now start implementing for them, which will yield amazing results down the line, which you will know because they'll be fully tracked. And therefore, at the end of the month, when you send them those results, and you're getting paid your base retainer, but also you're getting paid, whatever it may be, 10% of the revenue to bring them, or 10% of the profit, or 5%, 3%. It all depends on the side of the brand that you work with and the kind of results that you get. But this is where it's really going to come in super handy. Okay, so now we're up to month 3, and now it's all about focusing on building that proper content engine, because content is really the lifeblood of everything that you need, the foundation of pretty much all marketing nowadays, right? You need at scale visual content, but also written content. So you really got to look at it and figure out, okay, cool, how can we build with the existing stuff that you guys have? How can we produce as much content that makes sense as possible? And this is where you're going to focus on month 3 and during the workshop, really kind of explain all different strategies, how they're going to send you content. You're going to take that, repurpose it. This is where really the use of white label creative agencies will come in super handy. The companies like Get Creatives or Billo, like they're gonna help you take the content and essentially create so much more and create ads and cool stuff from it. And also, writing kind of like a white label agencies, like we write blogs, etc. Because again, you want to find a way to automate the process of writing the content and getting more content out, because specifically stuff like SEO and all of this, it will just take time to build up. So you want to get started and you want to show them that now you can, from the little output that they had, you now take it and can almost have like 100 piece of content output a month or something like that. And this is where the true value will come from. So from your end, the margin stays nice because you don't have to hire like a 50 million team member to just get that done, but you can work with, contractors, white label agencies, etc. And that really will make a big difference. So that's the focus on month 3, build up those content engine, find user generated creators to kind of like create content for you. Again, send the product to a certain agency to shoot the stuff, whatever it may be, whatever you need to do, or even just guide them on what type of content they should create during the next photo shoot and stuff, has ton of value. Because ideally, most of those brands, they probably should be cool already if they're kind of already at that level. And so therefore you can just guide them as to creating better raw content, and then you take that content and elevate it with your own creative teams, either your own or the white label one. And that's how you're going to get like next level content at scale. Okay, we're up to month 4 now. So in month 4, you're actually going to focus on all of the different funnels within those different channels. Of course, depends on each client. Some people are more suited for, a younger platform like TikTok, versus some others are more, maybe a bit old school, more B2B. You might want to do other stuff. But on general, you kind of, you're going to cover stuff like Facebook and Instagram, Google and YouTube, TikTok and Snapchat, and then stuff like Pinterest and maybe LinkedIn and all that. So of course, pick and choose which one you kind of want to specialize in. But generally, at least a good mix of like 2 or 3 really should be plenty for the vast majority of company. What you want to do is in that workshop, really kind of show them how you're going to approach it. So this is where you want to have diagrams showing them like, all of your different funnels, top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel, how the content is going to be different for each of the channels, how it's all going to be connected. And this is really what you want to focus on in month 4. So you can really kind of be like, oh, cool. So now everything we've done up to this point was to really optimize the conversion rate and make sure that your online presence is as good as it can be. And now we're building all the pieces that are really going to help us get to the absolute scale part. That the objective is to transform your business and get to those crazy numbers. Now, month 5, the goal is to just execute on all of the stuff that we've covered in month 4, which was all about the different funnels and different channels, both from like organic and paid strategies. So now month 5 is just executing. And again, in the workshop, now it's all about telling them how you're going to scale to those bigger numbers. So, sometimes there's a bunch of admin stuff necessary before scaling, making sure you've got the proper credit cards, chat with manufacturer, customer service, make sure that essentially they're ready to kind of start, pressing the gas pedal and essentially get to those bigger numbers. So that's month 5. You've got everything under control, and then you've explained to them exactly what they can expect when scale happens, and you've put everything in place to know that now when you push traffic, you've really done everything to make sure that the traffic is going to convert us at the highest level as possible. And now you've got the email set up, you've got everything set up to make sure you can increase the lifetime value like crazy. And this all leads to month 6, where now you're really gonna look at everything that you've done, do a bit of audit of all the different platforms, understand what works and what doesn't. And so you can actually focus on doubling down on the strategy that are working best and kind of be like, okay, cool, now let's hit it. If Facebook is cranking, boom, you add more budget. If it's TikTok, now the SEO stuff you should be ranking for really valuable like keywords. All of this should now be working like well, and you can double down on stuff. And so that's month 6. Again, during the workshop, you kind of tell them exactly what the plan is, how much budget is going to be allocated, etc., and how you plan to kind of like take advantage of the scale over the next few months that you work together. So after that is just rinse and repeat. Every single month you kind of switch that concept of just those workshops to just more monthly updates, where you just work with them, kind of request the content that you might need, because of course you'll need more and more content always. So it's during those monthly updates that you can kind of like request what type of content you need, etc. And this is how you're now gonna you've really blown their mind for the first 6 months. You really transformed the business because you've done like actual transformational steps, like the going from having no email sequence to crazy email sequence, from having the landing pages being okay to now the next level landing pages. All of this stuff, again, not having the proper funnel set up in ads. All of this now you've done, and it's time to take advantage of that and really start hitting it, so you can start getting those juicy performance bonuses every single month. And this is how you get like a solid 6-figure a year kind of type of clients. And this is how you get a few of those, and boom, you're hitting the $1 million mark, which is the exact objective. And the more better results you'll get from the clients, the easier you'll get to get more clients, because then you get the referrals and stuff. So that's why the first 6 months is super, super important. Make sure it's extremely precise. Clients know exactly what's happening, your team know exactly how to do it, and then it becomes super easy, because after that it's just kind of rinse and repeat and doing the same thing over and over. So there you have it. That's the first 6 months of a really nice and juicy client, and all of the steps that you need to do for them. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.